and thus one engages in many different types of pious and impious actions. This is what constitutes material bondage. Now I shall disentangle myself from my material bondage, which has been caused by the Supreme Personality of Godhead's illusory energy in the form of a woman. Being a most fallen soul, I was victimized by the illusory energy and have become like a dancing dog, led up and free myself from this illusion. I shall become a merciful, well-wishing friend to all living entities and always absorb myself in Krishna consciousness. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. This should be the standard of determination for all Krishna conscious persons. A Krishna conscious person should free himself from the clutches of Maya, and he should also be compassionate to all others suffering in those clutches. The activities of the Krishna consciousness movement are meant not only for oneself, but for others also. This is the perfection of Krishna consciousness. One who is interested in his own salvation is not as advanced in Krishna consciousness as one who feels compassion for others and who therefore propagates the Krishna consciousness movement. Such an advanced devotee will never fall down, for Krishna will give him special protection. That is the sum and substance of the Krishna consciousness movement. Everyone is like a play toy in the hands of the illusory energy and is acting as he moves him. One should come to Krishna consciousness to release oneself and also to release others. Vimucyatam imam bandham avidya kama karmajam sarvabhuta sruhutsanto maitra karuna atmaman mochai grastam atmanam joshin mayatma maya vikrito jayavadam kidamrugo ivadhamam. This is the statements of Ajamila after he was set free by the Vishnu Dutas from the clutches of the Jamadutas. This is Srimad-Bhagavatam, 6th canto, chapter 2, text 36-37. This is Ajamila Upakhyan, the story of Ajamila. This is a very nice story. Upakhyan, we say in Sanskrit. You should be acquainted with the Sanskrit words. Do you follow me? Because I may utter so many Sanskrit words. So you should be acquainted with. The Srimad-Bhagavatam is in Sanskrit, and you should try to learn the Sanskrit. Then actually you can taste the nectar in it. This is very nectarian, Amrut. Sagami Kalpataru, Vedic literatures or Vedas like a desert tree, Kalpataru. Nigama Kalpataru, it is stated, it's desert tree. And it's very, very sweet. It's very, very sweet. Rashala pholo. It is the ripened fruit and very sweet. In this material world, we have so many sweet fruits, but in that fruit you'll find some skin is there, some seed is there. But this fruit contains no seed, no skin, only sweet, and only rasa. Wherever you taste, you'll find sweet. Nothing else is there. This is the ripened fruit, very, very sweet and ripened fruit of Vedic literature, a Vedic tree, the Srimad-Bhagavatam. So, I request you that you should learn Sanskrit. Then you can taste its sweetness. How Sukadeva Goswami has said, and how Parikshit Maharaj has tested it. This is their mercy. Mercy of Sukadeva Goswami, mercy of Parikshit Maharaj, that this nectarian Amrit, the sweetest fruit, Rasara Phala, a Vedic tree, has come to us. So we must take advantage of it. You must test it. Nigamakalpataragalitam phalam sukha mukhadamrita drava sanjutam pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam murao rasika bhuvibhavukaha. You see? This Bhagavata, Srimad-Bhagavatam, rasala flow is very, very sweet. And we invite all the devotees, Rasiko Bhakto, those who have developed taste in it, to come and test it always, mohor moho, always. Come and test. We invite. Srimad-Bhagavatam is such a scripture which is the essence of all Vedic literature. That is the last contribution of Srila Vyasadeva. Chari Veda Upanishade joto kichu hoy tar ortho loya Vyasa korilo sanchoy. Vyasadeva compiled this Bhagavat Mahapurana, Srimad-Bhagavatam, that at the instruction of his spiritual master Srila, I must say, Narada Muni. And here, what are there? That means all Vedic literatures previously, prior to that, he had compiled all Vedic literatures, Vedas, Upanishads, Sangitas, Brahma Sutra, all these things he had compiled. So he took all the essence, all those literature, and compiled Srimad-Bhagavatam. Chari Veda Dadhi Bhagavata Navanito Mathilena Suke Khailena Parichita. If the four Vedas will be compared to Jogrut, I will churn it, this Navanita, the essence, Makhan, butter that comes out. That is Srimad-Bhagavatam. Sukdev Goswami did, churned it. And that Navanita that came out, Parikshit Maharaj tested it. Now it has come to us, so we must test it. And the proof given in Srimad-Bhagavatam, it is the spotless proof. Vedic proof is the spotless proof. Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, also has stated that thing. He has given his opinion. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhur matamidam Srimad-Bhagavatam pramanamamalam prema pamartha mahan Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhur matamidam tatradara napara. That is stated. Mahaprabhu has given this statement. He has given his opinion. The proof of Srimad-Bhagavatam is Amala Pramana, Visuddha Pramana, spotless proof. We must accept it. So here in Srimad-Bhagavatam, this Ajamila story of Ajamila is given. A very, very sinful person. He has committed so much sin, innumerable sin, but he was delivered. How he was delivered? Such a sinful person, that is given here. Statement. Sukadev Goswami narrates that story before Parikshit Maharaj. Here in Ajamila Charitra, you'll find the glorification of the name, the importance of chanting the holy name of the Lord. That is given here. Now, when he was free, he was set free by the clutches of the Vishnu-dutas. Then he gives this statement. He gives this statement. Now he expresses his determination. Because of identifying oneself with the body, one is subjected to desires of sense gratification, and thus one engages in many different types of pious and impious actions. Now he could realize this thing. He could understand this thing. Now he is saying this thing. Previously he couldn't understand. Previously he couldn't realize this thing. He was too much attached to this body. Dehatma buddhi. Dehatma buddhi means thinking this body, this self. Material body, this self. Those who are engrossed in sinful activities, those who are engrossed in avidya, ignorance, they think this body to be the self. They identify themselves with the body. They cannot understand this thing. They cannot realize their own self, the true identification. Jiver Swarupa hoy Krishner Nitya Das. That is the true identification of the Jiva. We are eternal servants of Krishna. We are not this body. This first lesson has been taught by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. This is the first lesson in the spiritual teachings. In Srimad-Bhagavatam, it is also stated, those who think this body, this self, in what category they belong to. Jasyatma buddhi kunape tridhatuke sodhi kolotradisu bhumijjadhi jatirtha buddhi salile karichit janesu abhigyesu saeva gokhara. That Srimad-Bhagavatam also states. He cannot be considered as a human being. One who thinks this body, this self. Jasyatma buddhi kunape tridhatuke. What is this body? This is a kunapa. Kunapa means a sack, a bag. It contains what? What does it contain? Tridhatuke. Tridhatu, bato, pito, kopho. This contains. It is filled with this. This is known as kunapa. Jasyatma buddhi kunapi tridhatuke. Sodhi kalatradisu bhumijjadhi. What do they think? They think this kunapa, this body, this self, and sodhi kalatradisu bhumijjadhi. Those who are related to this body, kalatra means wife, and sons and daughters, relatives, those are related to this body, they are mine more. Those are not related, they are others. Sodhi kalatradisu bhumijjadhi. Another thing is bhumijjadhi. The body is born. The land in which the body is born, that is known as Janmabhumi, birthplace, that is ijjadhi, that is worshipable. He says. He never says the most worshipable deity is Lord Krishna. Sarvaradhya sarvapujya. The most worshipable, sarvaradhya sarvapujya is Lord Krishna, Lord Jagannath. He never says this thing. This land in which this body is born, the birthplace, that is puja. Such an ignorant fool. Sodhi kalatradi subhamijjadhi jatirtha buddhi kalile salile karichit jane swabhigyensu saiva gokhara. Tirtha buddhi salile. He goes to visit these holy places, tirthasthan, places of pilgrimage, just to take bath in this holy river and wash off his sinful activities. He thinks that is enough. Salile tirtha buddhi. But why the place is called tirtha? If this will be so, if all sinful persons will go to that tirthasthan, place of pilgrimage, thus, and wash up their sins there, so what will happen? The sins will be accumulating, and like big mountain, so it is all will be filled with the sins. Now how can it be called a tirthasthan? A place of pilgrimage? Why the place has been called tirtha? How has it been? How has it become a tirtha? It doesn't know. Tirthi kurubanti tirthani. That means sadhus are there. Pure devotees are there. Those who are always engaged in chanting the holy name. And preaching this Krishna consciousness, the message of Krishna. They are always engaged in the loving, transcendental, loving service of the Lord. Therefore, the place has become tirtha. But such ignorant fool, such person who thinks this body to be self, Dehatma Buddhi, has developed this Dehatma Buddhi, he never goes. He never approaches such a sadhu, devotee. He never takes advantage of his association, which is really beneficial. He never does this. Such a person is called, he cannot be called a human being. Saeva gokhara. Janesu abhigyesu saeva gokhara. He is categorized among this. Go means cow, khara means gardhava, ash. He is under the category of cows and ass. He cannot be called a human being. Such a thing. So how can he understand? So how can he realize? He is in ignorance. When by the mercy of a pure devotee, mercy of Krishna, will identify this thing, he will realize that it is not the body, it is the spirit soul. As now this sinful person, Ajamila, could realize, then he can know. Otherwise not possible. Ajamila, how could he do it? How could he achieve such a state? This Ajamila. Ajamila was Brahmin. He was born in a Brahminic family, and his father was a learned Brahmin Pandit. He was studying Veda in his boyhood days. He was also associating with some sadhus. He had done some pious activities. But this material nature, this Maya Shakti is so strong. Krishna has said in Bhagavad Gita, Daivihesa gunamayi mama maya duratteya. Daivihesa gunamayi mama maya duratteya. This illusory energy, which is known as inferior energy of the Lord, Bahiranga Shakti also, external energy, it is very, very wonderful, though it is inferior. Mama maya duratteya. The conditioned soul cannot overcome it. He is always cut up by the snares of Maya. Prakruting mohining srita. That Maya Shakti, illusory energy, always enchanting. And the ignorant person, those who have developed this, the Atma Buddhi, those who have forgotten their true self, forgotten Krishna, they are always attracted towards this illusory energy, and they are cut up in its snare. Here. So, illusory energy, Maya Shakti's work is that it will make you forget your true nature. Maya has two works. In two ways it works. Miyate onoya iti Maya. Prakhepatmika kriya, avarnatmika kriya. Maya has two activities. Prakhepatmika kriya, avarnatmika kriya. Avarnatmika kriya, it covers up. It covers up the true self, true identity. That I am spirit soul, it's covered. It covers up. And second, Prakhepatmika kriya, it will never allow you to go to Krishna, approach Krishna. It will create all sorts of hindrance. If you try to approach Krishna, go to Krishna, then Maya will create so much hindrances. It will never allow. These two activities of Maya. So, one cannot understand. When one will get himself free from clutches of Maya, in other words, when one will be liberated, Mukta Jiva, then he can understand. Now he understood. Adamilo now understood, now he says, he speaks out. Previously he couldn't understand because he was in the clutches of Maya. By the grace of those Vishnu Dutas, he was released. Now he is Mukta, he is liberated now from the clutches of Maya. Then he could understand how he could do it. Such a sinful person. He was a Brahmin, he was studying Vedas, he was doing some pious activities, but he was attracted towards a prostitute. That now he is just saying that thing. I was victimized by the illusory energy and have become like a dancing dog led around by woman's hand. Do you understand? In Srimad-Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, there is Kapila Devahuti Samvada. Kapila Dev says to his mother Devahuti, he has also said, Pasyame balam mayaya strimajya jaino disan jakaroti padakrantam bhuvidrumhena kevalam. Kapila Dev says this to me. Mother, you see the strength And the power of my illusory energy, Maya, in the form of a woman. Srimad-Bhagavatam. Sri means woman. Pasyame balam maya Srimad-Bhagavatam jaino disa. You see, the humans are the instruments of Maya. For the part of a man, and the part of a man, woman is Maya. And the part of a woman, man is also Maya. Because man is attracted towards woman and woman is also attracted towards Maya, man. Kapiladev says, Pasyame balam maya Srimad-Bhagavatam jaino disam jakaroti bhuvikran parakrantam bhuvi drummena kevalam. How powerful she is, you see. You just see her power. The man may be very, very powerful. Parakranto is a very powerful person, a powerful king, like Alexander the Great. He may be very powerful. But if he looks at the face of a woman, just one glance, with one glance, he'll make him down. He'll be attracted. He'll come under her clutches. Such power. Kapiladev says, Pasyame balamaya Srimad-Bhagavatam jaino disam jakaroti bhuvi drummena parakrantam bhuvi drummena. With one glance only. So it is, instruction is there. Don't look at the face of a woman. By their glance, they will attack. They will make you trap. They will make you entrap. When you are dealing with a woman, be cautious. Be careful. Don't look at their faces. And be careful. If you have any business with a woman, you are going out to preach to some houses, you also meet. Here in your Western world, there is no hindrance and there is free mixing of men and women. In India, we have restrictions, no such free mixing. But here, free mixing. So danger is there. Maya is very powerful here. Maya is very powerful. You are all entrapped by Maya. You don't know that you have been entrapped. It's very powerful. So here it is taught. The instruction is take lessons. We should be very, very careful. In dealing with a woman, don't look at the face of a woman. Don't have so much engagement with him. If you have any business, you finish that business very quickly, as soon as possible. As soon as possible. Don't linger. You will be attracted. She will entrap you. Don't look at her face. Always look down, just have some few words, finish. That's the thing. I'll say in this connection, in the story of Lord Ramchandra, Lakshmana and Sita. You see, Lord Ram went to forest. Sita Devi also accompanied, and his younger brother Lakshmana also accompanied. In the forest, Sita Devi was kidnapped by Ravana. When the Lord Ramchandra and Lakshmana were out. When Lord Ramchandra came, found no Sita, he lamented. Then at last, they found out some ornaments. That is the necklace of Sita Devi. So Lord Ramchandra showed it to Lakshmana. Lakshmana, you see whether this is the ornament necklace of Sita Devi? Lakshmana says, no, I cannot say. I never looked at the face. I never look at, only I look at the feet. I have never looked up. How can I say this is the ornament, the necklace of Sita Devi? What is that purport? The purport is that he never looks at the face of a woman. He has never looked at the face of Sita Devi, you see. This is the thing. Therefore Kapiladev has said, Pasyame balamaya Srimad-Bhagavatam jaino disam jakaroti parakrantam bhuvijrummena kevalam. Only by one glance she will make you down. Man may be very, very powerful, like Alexander the Great, but he will be entrapped. This thing. Now he says that thing. I was victimized by the illusory energy and have become like a dancing dog led around by woman's hand. Now he realizes. Now he takes this strong determination. I won't be now entangled. I won't want to be attracted to such a woman and become a Joshit Kridamruga, a dancing dog by the hand of a woman. That is, he is taking that determination. One should have such determination, those who have come to this path of Krishna consciousness. And these women also, they are very tricky. They know so many arts to attract men. What do? They say, oh, you are a very nice, handsome person. Let me, will you kindly allow me to serve you, sir? To serve you, sir? Susrusa. I will serve you, sir. So you will be very pleased, oh, she's a nice lady. She wants to serve me. All right, you are allowed. Then you are under its clutches, her clutch, trap. Susrusa. You understand? I might say, I may also narrate here Lord Shivaji's story. Lord Shiva, you see, he is Mahajogi, he is a very controlled person also. He also destroyed, he burnt Kandarpa, Kubir. He was so angry. Still he was captivated. Sati was the wife of Lord Shiva, who was daughter of Daksha Prajapati. Daksha Prajapati was performing a sacrifice, but he didn't invite Shivaji, his son-in-law, but he invited all his son-in-laws and all his daughters, but didn't invite Shivaji. But this is woman's nature. Generally, they are very anxious to go to their parents' father's house. When Sati saw that all his sisters are going, then he requested Shivaji that I should go. Shivaji said, no, you should not go. We have not been invited. But she insisted. Shivaji said, if you go, you must be put into danger. So don't go. But she didn't listen to it. She insisted going. Then she went. When she went there, but nobody took interest. Rather, Daksha Prajapati, the father-in-law of Shivaji, he criticized Shivaji, which was very, very intolerable on the part of Sati. Shivaji is her husband and also a great devotee, Vaishnava Anangata Sambhu. She couldn't tolerate. Vaishnava, Shiva is a Vaishnava, Sati, his wife, is also a Vaishnavi. Vaishnava is tolerant. Taroriva Saisnuna, Mahaprabhu has said. The Vaishnava, who is a pure devotee, Vaishnava, he must be a Taroriva Saisnuna. He must be more tolerant than a tree. Vaishnava can tolerate. But if Vaishnava hears this ninda, what do you say in English? Offenses, Guru ninda, Sadhu ninda, Shastra ninda. All they can follow. Offenses against spiritual master, against the Lord, against Shastra, against Sadhu, he cannot tolerate. That is intolerable. If one is Vaishnava, listening to all these things can tolerate, he cannot be called a Vaishnava. He must be very angry. Yes. One should not be angry. The anger is an enemy, Krodha, Satru. Therefore, Vaishnava never gets angry. He tolerates. But he gets angry when he hears all these things. If you hear someone is defaming and the spiritual master or speaking ill of spiritual master or sadhu, shastra, Vaishnava, you should not tolerate. If have power, you should cut off his tongue. You should never utter. If have such power. If you cannot do it, then what to do? Leave that place. Don't be there. Don't those things enter into the ear. To leave this place. If you won't do that, you should commit suicide. Die. It's better to die than hearing all these things. Out of three, one should be done. Do you follow? So Sati couldn't leave the place. Sati couldn't cut off the tongue of his father, her father. Lakshya Prajapati. So he committed suicide. Then her next birth was Parvati. He was born as Parvati, the daughter of Parvataraj, Himalayan. And she also underwent severe penance austerity to get Shivaji as her husband. And from that day, Shivaji also underwent great penance not to accept a woman. No, I will never accept such a woman. Shivaji was undergoing penance, and Sati was also. Parvati was also. Such a thing was there. At that time, there was some menace from the demons, Tarkasura. There was a demon named Tarkasura. He was attacking the heavenly planets and demigods. They were very much afraid. And Tarkasura, there was a curse. If the sun will be burned, by, you see, Shivaji's son, that is Kartikeya, only he would kill him. That was the thing. So Shivaji is now determined not to accept a wife, and Sati, Parvati was also undergoing tapasya to get accepted. Shiva as her husband. So demigod sent this Kandarpa, Cupid. Cupid came, Kandarpa you know? Cupid. He came with his wife Rati, and he has arrows, Pancho Pulo Shoro. He pierces the sorrow, that will agitate the passion. And that attracted. So Shivaji was meditating, just closing his eyes, and when just pierced by Kandarpa's Cupid's arrow, so this passion was agitated, so he got angry and opened his eyes, and third eye came out from it. With that, he burnt to ashes that Kandarpa. Such a Shivaji was so powerful. Such a powerful. Demigod Shivaji, at last, he was also captivated by Parvati. Parvati every day used to come there, used to clean that place where Shivaji was meditating, and burn some incense, and pluck some flowers, nice scented flowers, put there, decorates those places, doing that service, Sususha. This is the trick of the woman. That's it, approaches a man to entrap you. Susrusa chhodare. Rendering, I will serve you. One devotee was asking me in that Torino we are going in Italy. He was a married person, brahmachari. He was brahmachari, but he was now married. So he was asking, if someone accepts wife, I was giving lecture, if you accept a wife, you must fulfill the demand of your wife. So the women have so many demands, so you have to fulfill. You should please her. They want children. And the acceptance of wife means bevaya projaya, norati. If you marry, accept a wife, you must produce children. That is required. If you don't do it, you will put into trouble. The woman will put you into much trouble. You will have hellish atmosphere. You cannot live. But he says, no, I don't want to produce children, but I have accepted the woman for the service. You are ignorant fool. Why you have accepted a woman for a service? If you don't want to produce children, it is better to remain brahmachari. Don't accept a wife. Why? That's not there. But this Vedic instruction, even bevaya prajaya narati. You accept a wife only to procreate progeny, prajaya, narati, not for sexual pleasure. Prajaya means Krishna conscious children to produce. Not the children like pigs, because eat stool. The pig produces so many children. They eat stool. Human beings should not produce children like pigs, so many. They should not be so lusty. So, this should be the restricted sense gratification, restricted sense. Therefore, we have this instruction is there. No illicit sex life. You should not deal with the other woman, but you should cohabit with your married, wedded wife, the grihastha, but very, very restricted, once a month, only to procreate, present. Not for sexual pleasure, vivaya prajaya narthi. So you have to do it. If you are not interested in procreating pleasure, so you should not have married. Why have you married? That's the thing. So that is the trick. So Shivaji, then they come and do some service, sushrusha. But one who is an intelligent person, what would he do? The woman is coming and offering her service. He should not look at her. He should not accept that service. Bhagavat says, Trunabruta Kupo. There is a well. Kupa. Kupa means well. Well, you know, here are no wells, I think. We have wells there. Here, water supply tap. But we have wells in India to fetch water. And Trunabruta Kupa. Trunabruta Kupa means the grass, the surface of the well is covered up with grass, soft grass. So who is an ignorant fool will find, oh, it's very soft grass, very soft. Let me sit here. Sit me. Down in the well. It doesn't know that well has been covered up with the soft grass. Similarly, this offering services of the woman. You don't know this thing now, attracting you, putting you in a trap. You are accepting. Trunabruta Kupo. So one who is intelligent, he will never look at her. Oh, it is a Trunabruta Kupo. It is a well covered up with grass. I want to look at her. It should be like that. So the ignorant fool, you'll find, oh, very soft seat, very nice glasses. I will see. Such is the case. So, when Parvati came up for her services, they have bangles, they have nupur, so many. When the woman came, tingling, tingling voice is there. It's very sweet. So, Shivaji was in a trance, just meditating. Once, hearing the tingling, he opened his eyes. Parvati is there. Just looked at her. So intact. Such a great yogi, Shivaji, at last opened his eyes and looked at Parvati. So Parvati entered. They are married at last. You see, such is the case. It's the illusory energy. Pasyami balam maya strimajya jaino disang jakaroti parakrantam bhuvijrumbhena kevalam. Kapladeva said that thing. You mother, you see the power of my illusory energy in the form of a woman. Just at one glance, you can see he can entrap a very powerful king. Such is the power. Now he couldn't say, I was victimized by the illusory energy and have become like a dancing dog around a woman's hand. Just it, Krida Murga, henpecked. We say henpecked. Those who are under the clutches of women. What the woman will say, they will do. They will do. Because they are so much attached to the sense gratification, the lusty desires. They lust. They think this is an object of enjoyment. Woman is an object of enjoyment. She has come to give me enjoyment. What enjoyment? Juha upastindriya, jehostha. She has come to give me enjoyment to my palate. Juha, she will cook, prepare nice food, dishes for you, for the husband, and feed you. Your husband will sit down, she will bring the dishes, you please sir, take it, and she will sit down by your side, just fanning, and giving, you take this, please eat it. Just smiling, saying so many nice words. Katham priyaya. Prahlad Maharaja said that thing. Katham priyaya. Parihaso, rongo, rahasyo. My beloved wife, always laughs. She says so many nice words. Katham priyaya, anukampitaya. Sangam rahasyan sarudiranscha mantran. Huh? How can you come to this path of Krishna consciousness? It's very difficult. Jiva and upastha indriya. That means is giving pleasure to your jiva, to your palate. At night, upastha indriya means sex organ. So it is very difficult to give it up. It's very, very difficult to give it up. In 9th canto, Srimad-Bhagavatam, Jajati Maharaj says, Jadustejya durmati bhir jirjato janu jirjate tantrasnang dukkha nivaham sarma kama drutam tejet. You see, Jajati Maharaj is a very powerful king. He married the daughter of Sukracharya. Her name is Devajani. You understand? Her name is Devajani. He married Sukracharya's daughter Devajani. Devajani had a maid servant. Her name was Sarmistha. Once Jajati Maharaj was also attracted to her Sarmistha. So she also kept Sarmistha as his wife, kept wife. So generally the kings do, those Kshatriyas also do like that. So Devajani could know it. So Devajani told her father. So he cursed. Sukracharya cursed. The son-in-law Jajati. You become old, you become impotent. They can follow impotent? Napunshaka. That means you cannot have any sex connection. Napunshaka. You become. So he cursed, so he became very old Napunshaka. That happened. But at the same time, Devajani also lamented, because Devajani saw, if my husband could be old and Napunsaka, how can I get some enjoyment? I couldn't get any enjoyment. So again he requested her father, no, it is a curse to me. It is a curse to me. So Sukracharya says, all right, that can be exchanged. If someone could take away his old age and give his youth to him, then he can enjoy. That can be exchanged, Sukracharya said. So who took? At that time, Jajati had young, very youth sons, many sons. So he requested his sons, you son, will you kind take my old age and give your youth to me, I will enjoy? No, said, no, I won't wait. All denied. But his youngest son, Puru, he agreed. He gave. All right, I'll take up your old age, I'll give my youth. So he gave. Then he enjoyed Devajani hundreds of years. Do you follow? He enjoyed Devajani hundreds of years. Still it is not satiated. Na jatu kama kamana upabhogena samyati havisa kusma vartneva bhuyo evabhi vardhate. When he could understand, true consciousness grew up, he could understand. Jajati Maharaj, then he spoke. He speaks out this. Na jatu kama kamana upabhogena samyati havisa kusma vartneva bhuyo evabhi vardhate. If you give pleasure, enjoyment to your senses, the senses will not be satisfied at all. Will never be satisfied. If you give more enjoyment, they'll demand more. Give more, give more. They'll never be satisfied. If you pour ghee in the burning fire, the fire will never be extinguished. The fire will never blazing and blazing and say, give more ghee, pour more ghee. Similarly, the more you give enjoyment to your senses, they want more and more and more. They'll never be satisfied. Na jatu kama kamanam upabhogena samyati havisa kusma vartneva bhuyo evabhi vardhate. Jadustejya durmati virjyato jano jijyate tam krishnang dukkha nivaham sarma kama drutam tejet. Jajati Maharaj says. This sex desire, the desire for sense gratification, sense enjoyment is so strong, it's very difficult to give it up. Dustejya. It's very difficult to give up this desire. But now he takes up in determination this Ajamla. Oh, no more. You see, he takes up this determination. No more. I'll free myself from this illusion. I shall become a merciful, always-seeing friend, all living and always observe myself in Krishna consciousness. I'll never be entangled again. Strong determination. Maharaj says, Jadustya dharmate virjijyato janujijyate tam trusnang dukh nibahang sarma kama drutam tejet. It is very difficult to give up this desire. The man may become old, very, very old, akaramanya, is going to die. Jirjato janu jirjate. He is in deathbed. He is going to die. Still he wants, I'll enjoy a young girl. Yes, desire is so strong. It's very difficult to give it up. Jajirjato janu jirjate. Tantrusnam dukkha nivahang sarma kama drutam tejet. If you really want pleasure and happiness, real pleasure, give it up immediately. Drutam tejet. Because this is the outcome of all misery. Jahi sansparja bhoga dukkha jano yayevate adyantavanta kaunte yanate suramate buddha. Krishna has said this thing in Bhagavad Gita. This is Krishna's instruction. Jahi sansparja bhoga dukkha jano yayevate adyantavanta kaunte yanate suramate buddha. Buddha means jnani, a learned person, self-realized person. He never runs after this sense gratification, sense pleasure. He knows it is not pleasure at all. It is fleeting pleasure, adyantamanta, temporary pleasure. Its consequence is misery, unlimited misery, dukkha jonaya. You see, he knows he is never attracted. When he is full, he is attracted. That's what he says. If you want real pleasure, drutam tejet, immediately give it up this thing. Then you will get real pleasure. Jajati Maharaj says. Now he says, this Adamila says, when he is free from the clutches of Maya, he procreated, you see, his last child at the age of 80. Such a old man. Age of 80. He was dying at the age of 86. You understand? Adamila was dying at the age of 86. And the youngest son was 5 years old. So at the age of 80, he had his son. So he was so much engrossed. Therefore he says this thing. I was victimized the illusory energy and become like a dancing dog. What the wife says? Yes. You please put me on your shoulder. All right, my darling, all right. Sit here. That's very nice. Because he gives me a dancing dog at the end of a woman. What woman says? A joke. And that. Now he takes up strong determination. No more. So he had produced child at the age of 80. But one thing is there. Swalpam api asya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Krishna has said that thing in Srimad-Bhagavatam. Naho vikramana swasti pratyavaya na vidyate. Swalpam api asya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. If you have done something very little in this regard, in this connection of Krishna consciousness, devotional service or bhakti, sadhu sangha, association with the sadhus, that will save you from the greatest danger. That was his sukruti. Because in his boyhood days, when he was studying Vedas, he had associated with sadhus for very short time. Therefore, he named his younger son Narayana. You see? He named, he put his name as Narayana, which is the name of the Lord. He might have put other name, Tom, baby, something like that, as you have so many names, nonsense names. It's not name of Lord, Bhagavan. So when you are initiated by spiritual master, he changes the name. He gives one of the name of the Lord. Haridasa, Govinda Dasa, Gopala Dasa. Like that. Or some devotee's name, his servant. If you just remember that name, so indirectly you are remembering Krishna. That was his sukruti. So he had named his son as Narayana. So for the attachment to his son, when the Jamadutas came, the fearful looking, very horrible persons. So out of fear he called out, Narayana, Narayana, you please come. That Narayana is playing close to him. He called his son. As soon as he uttered the name of Narayana, immediately the Vishnudutas arrived there. So they said, By the utterance of this word, the Lord's name, all the reactions of his sinful activity destroyed. The crores of life, koti janmo, eko Krishna namo kore sarva papo kheyo. It is stated. If utter one Krishna name, it will destroy all sinful activities, sarva papa. You cannot commit such sins. It has such potency of destroying the sinful reactions with the name of Krishna. So he was free from this reaction of the sinful activities. He became liberated. Mang eva samukta kale varunja prayati sa madbhavum jati nastatra sansaya. Krishna has said this in Bhagavad Gita. At the Antakale, at the time of death, if someone utters my name or thinks of me, he will come to me. There is no doubt at all. That is the perfection of life. Ha Krishna boli jau jiva. Let me die uttering Krishna. Let me die uttering Krishna. That is the perfection of life. Etavan sankhya yogi. Swadharma parinishthaya. Janmalabha parapunsam ante narayana smriti. That is the perfection of life. It is stated in second canto Srimad-Bhagavatam. Etavan sankhya yogan. Swadharma parinishthaya. Janmalabha parapunsam ante narayana smriti. Ante means at the time of death, Antakala. If there is Narayana Smriti, if you can remember Narayana, if you can utter his name, then you have achieved perfection. The perfection of life. Otherwise your life has not been, you have not achieved perfection. Your life is not successful. You may be a very sincere worker, doing your duty, do your duty, Swadharma Parinishthaya. With much sincerity you are doing your duty. You have Sankhya Alosana, you have studied Vedas, or Sankhya, you are discussing Sankhya, philosophy. So many things you might have done, but unless at the time of death, Antakar, you cannot utter name of the Lord, Narayana Smriti, cannot remember Narayana, then your life is not successful. Ante Narayana Smriti. That he achieved success, because he uttered Narayana. Though he didn't directly call Narayana, Krishna, the Lord, he called his son, whatever it may be, he uttered the name of the Lord. Therefore he is free. So, Vishnu Dutas now protected him from the clutches of Jamadutas. That is the thing. When he was free, then he could remember his true self. Then he says, after that he says all these things. Previously he was not saying, previously he was not conscious of these things. This is, he gives now, which has been caused by the Supreme. Now I shall disentangle myself from my material bondage, which has been caused by the Supreme Personal Godhead's illusory energy in the form of a woman. No more. Now he takes up this determination. Again, another, I shall give up all lusty desires. No, further, I'll develop some lust desires in my mind and free myself from this illusion as I become a merciful, well-wishing friend to all living entities. I'll observe myself in Krishna consciousness. Now you do this thing. He was dying, but he didn't die, you see. His lifespan is enhanced now. He didn't die. Now he could realize, he took up this determination. Now he would go to Haradwar and he would undergo penance, austerity there, and would engage himself in the devotional service. What he says, observe myself in Krishna consciousness. And that means he'll practice bhakti now. Now he'll do sadhana. Now he'll do this thing. Then the same Vishnu Dutas would come with Biman to take him to Vaikuntha. Then he will achieve that thing. Now the question is here, when my Guru Maharaj has said, this should be the standard of determination for all Krishna conscious persons. A Krishna conscious person should free himself from the clutches of Maya and should also be compassionate to all others suffering in those clutches. When you could realize, who is a realized soul, who is a pure devotee, he could see the suffering real suffering and his heart bleeds. Vaishnava para dukhe dukhi. Vaishnava sarva bhuta hite ratha. It has stated. One is a Vaishnava. Vaishnava means pure devotee. He laments if he sees the suffering of the conditioned soul. Whose heart bleeds? Whose heart bleeds? When we were coming, he was playing a tape of Prabhupada. Prabhupada was singing a song I was hearing. Sada kame rata. I am always engaged in this lusty activities. Sada kame rata. It's not para dukhe dukhi. When I see someone is suffering, it gives me pleasure. Oh, all right, he's suffering. It's very right. It's very nice. He's never feeling distress, but Vaishnava feels. You see, this is the state, the condition of this ignorant fools, those who have developed this dehatma buddhi. When you come to the pure path of this devotional service, path of the pure devotional service, you can understand, you can realize. Vimudha nanupasyanti pasyanti jnana chakshusa. At that time, you endowed with an eye, that is jnana chakshu, spiritual vision. With that vision you can see. But vimudha nanupasyanti, the ignorant fools, those whose vision is covered up by illusory energy, they have covered vision. Those who are not devotees, Vaishnavas, pure devotees, they have covered vision. They cannot see. You take the example of Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj could see the Lord in the pillar, Stambha. Whereas his father Hiranyakasipu, the great demon, was conquered 3 worlds, very powerful. Could he see? Could he see? He couldn't see. Lord is there. Lord is all pervasive. He is everywhere. But a devotee sees. Whereas these ignorant fools, they cannot see. Because they have covered vision. Maya has covered their vision. But devotee's vision is not covered. Premanjana surito bhakti vilocanena santa sadaiva hrudesu vilokayanti. Jasyama sundaram achintya guna sarupam govindam adi purusam stamam vaja. Brahma Samhita it is stated. He sees. What is his vision? Premanjana surito bhakti vilocanena. He has bhakti chakshu, the eye of devotion. He has put this ointment of Krishna prem in his eye. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochana. Santa sadaiva hrudesh vilokai. That Santa, that devotee, sees everywhere and always Syama Sundara Rupa. Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Visesa Sobhang. Such a beautiful form of the Lord. How beautiful is he? Koti Kandarpa. Crores of Cupid. The beauty of crores of Cupid will not be compared. It surpasses that. It's such a beautiful thing. If you could see such beauty, will you look at a woman? Is there any beauty? Spitting. No attraction will be there. Who could see such beauty? Who is attracted to Lord Krishna, Jagannath? Such beautiful form. How can you be attracted to such a nasty thing? All abominable, obnoxious. You see? Those who have covered vision, they cannot see. They understand. That's the thing. So you should develop that thing. That my Guru Maharaj says. You should take up this strong determination. 3 things are there to make you. If you want real advancement in this path of Krishna consciousness, bhakti, paramarthika, patha, all should take up this. 3 things are there. Saralata, drudhata, oikantikata. Can they follow? Saralata means simplicity in English. Drudhata, strong determination. Oikantikata, unalloyedness. Now they can follow, I think. They follow? So I will utter these words. Saralata, drudhata, oikantikata. So, is it difficult on your part to understand now? Tell me. You can't follow. Simplicity, strong determination, and unalloyedness. Sarvata, Dhrota, three things are required. If you serious to make advancement in this path of Krishna consciousness, this path of devotion. If you have no such thing, you cannot make any advancement. You should take it seriously. It's most important. Three things are required. Be as simple as a child, simple child, Sarvata. Vaishnava is Sarala. That is Vaishnavata. Sarvata is Vaishnavata. Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Goswami says, Sarvata is Vaishnavata. Simplicity, that is the quality of a Vaishnava. It is better to remain in the species of animals and birds, but don't become a crooked man. Don't cherish this kapatata. Kapatata, crookedness. Or what do you say in English? Correct? Yes? Because I have difficulty in expressing things in English. I am accustomed to expressing in this Sanskrit. So I may be excused. I have for the first time come to this Western country. I have to speak in English. I was not speaking in English. So I may be excused. But you should try to understand me, and you should try to learn the Sanskrit, as I said in the beginning. Then you could really taste this nectar of Srimad-Bhagavatam. So, Sarvata, Dhrudhata and Aikantikata. Three things are. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur says, it is better to remain in the species of birds, animals, lower animals, but don't be a crooked person. Don't cherish kapatata. Sarvata is Vaishnavata. Vaishnava is simple. Then Dhrudhata, strong determination. That is most important here. Ajamila took up this determination. No more entanglement. I'll free myself completely from this illusory energy. Now I will absorb myself in Krishna consciousness and be merciful to all living entities, well-wishing friend of all living entities, and always absorb myself in Krishna consciousness. This determination must be there. One should not deviate from this determination. You should not allow such a state or situation that will break your determination. Be very cautious. Then comes unalloyedness, aikantikata. One should have this unalloyed devotion, aikantika bhakti. Unalloyed devotion to the Lord, unalloyed devotion to the spiritual master. You see, I'll say one thing in this respect. Lord Rama, Lord Krishna. There are some devotees of Lord Rama, there are some devotees of Lord Krishna. So, those who are devotees of Lord Krishna, they are not attracted to Rama. Those who are devotees of Lord Rama, they are not attracted to Krishna. Once, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Murari Gupta. Have they heard the name of Murari Gupta in Chaitanya Charitamrita? Murari Gupta is a dear devotee of Lord Chaitanya. He was Hanuman. He was the incarnation of Hanuman, Murari Gupta. He is Ram Bhakta. He is a devotee of Ram. Once Mahaprabhu wanted to test him, how far he had developed unalloyed devotion towards Lord Ram, Ramchandra. Once Mahaprabhu, out of fun, in order to test him, told Murari, you should do Krishna bhajan. Krishna is Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Sobham. You see, such Koti Kandarpa Rupa, Krishna's Rupa, the form of Krishna, such beautiful. And also, Krishna is the source of all incarnations. Ramadi Murti Sukala Niyamanatishtan, Nana Bataranga Karoda Bhubanesu Kintu, Krishna Swayam Samabhavat, Parampu Manjo, Govindam, Adi Purusam, Stamang Bhajami. It is in Brahma Samhita. Rama, Nrsimha, Vaman, is Kala Niyamanatishtan, is Kala of Krishna. The answer, expansion and expansion, expansion, Kala, Kala. That you can understand these terms. I request you should understand these terms, these words. Then you can really release the nectar. Kala Niyamanatishtan. So, you do Krishna bhajan. Mahaprabhu told Murari. The Murari was a stern devotee of Lord Ramchandra. You see. When Mahaprabhu told Murali couldn't say anything else, all right. As Arjuna says, Karisye vachanam tava. I'll obey what you say. The Murari says, all right, I'll do. When you are saying, I'll do. So Murari went home. At night, he tried to meditate upon Krishna and to give up Ram meditation. But he couldn't. He couldn't. Because as a devotee analyte, he has developed another devotion towards Lord Rama. He failed to do. And he cried, lamented, oh, Mahaprabhu said this thing, but I couldn't do it. What shall I do? Let me die. Let me die. Because I couldn't obey. I couldn't keep up the words of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in the morning, crying, very morals, went to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and said, Mahaprabhu, I couldn't keep up your word. I couldn't give up this Ram meditation. Is my heart and soul. I have developed this thing. You ordered me, you told me, but I couldn't do. Now please, give me permission, I will die, he says. Mahaprabhu was very glad. Oh, that's all right. Why you give up? Why you give up, Lord Ram? You should not give up. Mahaprabhu was testing how he has developed an alright devotion to Lord Ram. This is Aikantikata. Are they following me, my point? Do you follow my point? What I'm saying? Aikantikata. I was explaining Aikantikata. Oh, no, let's. Three things. Sarvata, Dhruvata, Aikantikata. This will help you. That to make advancement in this path of Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, you won't make any. So Mahaprabhu was pleased. Mahaprabhu said, oh, Sakshat Hanumana to me. You are Hanuman. Why you give up Lord Ram? You need not, you should not. What Lord Hanuman says? Hanuman says, you see, you take the statement of Lord Hanuman. Once when there was a Kurukshetra, Juddha, fighting, Lord Krishna sent Bhimsen, you go to Hanuman and tell him that he would come here to this and help in this Kurukshetra, Juddha, fighting battle. So Hanuman, I would say Bhimasen went there and met Hanuman and told, Krishna has said, you please come and help in this battle of Kurukshetra. Hanuman says, oh, who is that Krishna? I don't know, I won't go. My Lord is Lord Ram. Unless he says, I won't go. So Bhimsen returned and told Krishna, he refused to come. He says, he doesn't know you. You are ignorant fool. Why don't you say Lord Ramchandra says? Go, tell him again. So he again went. He says, Lord Ramchandra says, you please come. Oh, my Lord says, all right, I'll go. He immediately came. And he saw Ramchandra. There's no difference. Is there any difference Lord Ram and Krishna in absolute vision? There's no absolute vision, tattva drushti. There's no difference. He says, Hanuman says, Srinathe Janakinathe Abheda Paramatmani Mama Jivana Sarvasya Rama Rajiva Lochana. He says this thing. Srinathe Janakinathe Abheda Paramatmani. Srinath means husband of the goddess of fortune. Lakshmi Kanta is Krishna. Janakinatha, husband of Janaki, Sita Devi, is Lord Rama. Abheda, there is no difference. Do you follow? The verse I utter. Srinathe, Janakinathe, Abheda Paramatmani. Both are Paramatma. Do you follow? So there is no difference. But Mama Jivana Sarvasya Rama Rajiva Lochana. But my heart and soul is Rama Rajiva Lochana. I am attracted to him in that form. This is Aikantikata. Do you follow? Unalloyedness. The three things are there. Sarvata, Drudhata, Aikantikata. Simplicity, strong determination, and unalloyedness. Then you can make advancement in this path. Otherwise, you cannot. You understand? That is the thing. Similar the case of spiritual master. As Krishna is one and his spiritual master Guru is one, maybe different forms. Your Guru, my Guru is Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Maharaj, his Guru is Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Maharaj. Your Guru, Harikesh Swami Maharaj. Someone's Guru may be different. So one may say, why are you attracted? I will worship him. My Guru is that. Why worship him? But there is no difference. Srinath Janakinath Abheda Paramatmani. There is no difference. Srinath and Janakinath. But Mama Jivana Sarvasva Ramaraji Valochana. In Tattva Drushti, absolute vision, they are non-different. One, but I am attracted to that form. Not a fact that I will disrespect the other. No, that's not the question. It's equally worshipable. Equally worshipable. But my heart has been attracted there. Do you follow my point? All of you? This is most important thing. If you are serious enough to make advancement in this path of Krishna consciousness, Paramarthika Marga, you should do this thing. Another thing I will just say and conclude my speech, because I have so many work to do and finish. So I beg excuse. Another point is that this urge, this attraction towards illusory energy, especially the urge of this sex desire, is so great. As I say, that is very difficult to give it up. How can we give it up? Therefore we see so many stalwarts, they are falling down. Isn't it? You take the example of Vishwamitra Muni. For 60,000 years, he did severe austerity, penance, and strict brahmacharya. He practiced. Still, he was attracted to Menaka. That is his case. What is your case? Have you any strength? You have no strength. Take the case of Saubhari Muni. How he was attracted. What is we are insignificant fellow. We have no strength. We are very easily trapped. But you take the case of Haridas Thakur, unalloyed devotion, how he has developed. Was he attracted towards a prostitute, attracted towards Maya-Devi? Himself came Maya-Devi, a beautiful maiden, to attract Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur was living in a cave. He was a young man in a solitary place. He was living at midnight, dead of night. She came. Maya-Devi came in a beautiful maiden and lamented, "Oh, Vaishnava Thakur, Ami bada dukhi." You Vaishnava Thakur, because Vaishnava is, as it says, become merciful, well-wishing friend to all living. Vancha kalpataru bhescha krupa sindhu bhescha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo nama nama, we say. Vaishnava is Vancha kalpataru, desire tree. If someone expresses desire, he fulfills. That is Vaishnava. Do you follow? So, Maya-Devi came in the form of a beautiful maiden and said, I am Ami Dukhi. I am a very, very unhappy person. I am feeling much pain. You please relieve me from that pain. What is that pain? Oh, this is Kamopida. I am a young maiden, you see, Juvati, and this Kandarpa Cupid gives me pain. Kamopida, please relieve me. She expresses this desire. So Vaishnava's duty is that, all right, I will fulfill your desire. Yes, I will fulfill. Because be merciful too. Become merciful. Well-wishing friend to all living entities. If I see someone is suffering, I must idiot is suffering. So what did this young man, dead of night, solitary place, you should have attracted very easily. We should have, not you and I also. I am a young old man. Still I have that I am attracted because we are conditioned souls. It's very difficult to withstand this attraction. But what he did? All right, I'll do. But I have one condition. My Guru Maharaj has said to chant this number of names. First I will finish, then I will fulfill it. Please sit there outside the cottage. Let me finish. Then I will see. He chanted. He was chanting 3 lakhs of names. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Whole night he was singing. Night ended, day breaks. What to do? Please excuse, I cannot finish. Please come tomorrow. He was not right. For 3 days, same thing. Yes, he tried. He displayed so many tricks to entrap. What tried? Haridas Thakur, but he was not attracted. He was chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Because he had this determination. No more, that he takes up this determination. No more entanglement. I will disentangle myself. Strong determination. She tries to break my determination. This lady tries to break my determination. Oh, what should not be broken? This is strong determination. 3 days she came. At last she was defeated. He was victorious. Whereas Saubhari Muni, Vishwamitra Muni, they were defeated by Maya. Maya was winner. You see, this is the lesson you should take. We should have this determination, we should not be attracted. And how he could withstand, because the force of this chanting pure name, unalloyed devotion, aikantikata, it is stated. Vidhi dharma chari bhaje krishnero chorono nisiddho papachare taro kobu noe mana. অজ্ঞানে বা হয় যদি পাপ উপস্থিত কৃষ্ণ তারে ক্ষমা করে ন করায় প্রায়শ্চিত. It is stated. বিধি ধর্ম ছাড়ি ভজে কৃষ্ণের চরণ. নিষিদ্ধ পাপাচার তার কবু নয় মন. One who has developed this unalloyed devotion, chanting inoffenselessly, Suddha Nam, always observe, as he says, I'll observe myself in Krishna consciousness. Every bit moment, always observe in Krishna consciousness. No deviation, without deviation. One who is in such absorption, without deviation, chanting, Haridas Thakur was doing that thing. Vidhi dharma chari bhaje Krishnera charana, nisiddho papachare taro kabhu noy mana. The thought of pap will never enter into this wicked mind. It will never enter. Because Krishna is there. Manmana bhava mad bhakta mad jaji mang namaskuru. Mangavesyasi satyam te pratijane priyosime. This is the most confidential instruction in Bhagavad Gita. Guhyatam upadesh. Think of me always without deviation. Don't forget me. Manmanava. Keep myself. Krishna says, keep Krishna always in your mind. That is mind's business. What is the mind's activity? Tell me, what's the mind's activity? Thinking, feeling, willing. We say in Sanskrit, Sankalpa Vikalpa. You understand? Sankalpa Vikalpa. Sankalpa means desiring. You understand? Thinking, desiring, thoughts. Mind cannot be free from any thought. Must be some thought is there. But Krishna says, think of me. Only think of me. No other thought. Don't allow any other thought enter into your mind. That is to conquer mind. That is to conquer mind. Mano joy. So Haridas Thakur was always thinking of chanting. No other thought. Vidhi dharma chari bhaje Krishnera charanam nisiddho papachara taro kahu noy mana. So the thinking of pap, sinful attraction, the attraction of this Maya will never enter into it. They will be defeated. অজ্ঞানে বা হয় যদি পাপ উপস্থিত কৃষ্ণ তারে ক্ষমা করে ন করায় প্রায়শ্চিত. If unconsciously, অজ্ঞানে, he has no desire, who has developed this unalloyed devotion, pure devotion, this avidya, ignorance. I was first telling of this avidya. Out of ignorance, the person thinks this body is self. Therefore he is attracted. The avidya, the ignorance is completely destroyed. Avidya nash. The seed, bija, the seed of sinful activity is avidya. You follow? Avidya means ignorance. Ignorance is the seed of the sinful activity, papa bija. If the bija, the seed is destroyed, how there will be germination? It will fry the seed and put it into earth. Will it germinate? Will it germinate? No, because it's destroyed. The seed is destroyed, there's no germination. So seed of the sinful activity is avidya. When that avidya is completely destroyed, the avidya is destroyed by this process only. The developing anala devotion, Shuddha Bhakti. Then there is no question of material attraction or material force, no sinful activity, no question of thinking of sin, committing in sin. That it says, verse says.